We met in 1981 when she had just finished her A-levels at Meriliki Girls High School. And then after that, they followed the courtship and then the visit to their home, and after that, marriage, which was followed by a wedding. After the wedding, she went to after the wedding, after the wedding, she went to Meriliki, not to Meriliki, she went to High Ridge High School, High Ridge Teachers College, where she's trained as a teacher. After that, I was posted to the Coast Province and at Mombasa, in Mombasa, and later I moved to Taita Taveta at Voi as a district settlement officer, and then she joined me. She was teaching at Mwakingali Primary School. After that, we transferred to Kakamega. During that time, she was a very simple but very religious and very hardworking. From 1985, I went to Canada for further studies. And one remarkable thing I learned from there is that when I made arrangements for her to come to, I was at Manitoba University in Canada, when I made arrangements for her to come to visit me in Canada, and she inquired about the money that it would cost, it was quite a bit of money. She told me that money I better send to her so that we could buy some land in Kakamega to build, so that we could have a home in Kakamega. That was very remarkable. Because I was away, during that time we had about two kids, and she made sure that these kids went to the most prominent primary school in Kakamega. And this made them to excel. In fact, through the primary, our elder son, who is called Lamek, went to Maseno High School, and later went to the university where he did computer engineering and now works with the KEBS. The follower. So all these kids went to very good schools. After that, she continued, she taught in Kakamega, but as you possibly have heard, she resigned from teaching after some 12 to 13 years to join business. This was because her father was a strong business person, and I think she followed there. So she was not happy with the teaching profession, and then left after 13 years to join family business. She has done that up to the time of her death. The other remarkable thing is that this lady has been a staunch Christian. She started with the Anglican Church, Diocese of Maseno North, where at the cathedral in Kakamega, she used to preach and do many other things in the church. In fact, the retired Bishop Simon Okech, during that time, even attended our service that we had at Kakamega on Thursday. Sophie was very hardworking. She managed to buy the plot or the land in Kakamega, and during the time I was there, I continued sending her money. She bought the land when I was not there. She identified a good place by the road, and she bought the land while I was not there, and before she started building, she sent me the architect of the house, and I approved, and she continued building. She started building, and this house got completed by November 1997. We were able to start staying in this house, and we have stayed there until now. We are staying in that house. I think now going to 30 years since we joined. This was very remarkable because during that time, the government used to pay something called owner-occupier. That was above the normal rent that the government was giving. So if you had an owner-occupier house, you would get some money on top of the normal rent that the government was giving. I don't know what is now there. It is now the affordable housing, but we used to have that thing, and that made us save money. And the money that was saved, we have managed to take our 5 kids through the university without the help, this loan by the government. I was asking her, why don't you take the money that the government is offering? And she said that she did not like that because this will bring a lot of confusion when the kids start working. So our 5 kids have gone through the university. In fact, 2 of them have done masters, and the lady, Lynn Aoko, went through JKUAT for a master's in horticulture, and she was asking the mother the other time that, Mommy, do you know that my training, I was calculating my MSc cost at JKUAT, and it is about 2 million shillings, because she was paying rent, she was doing all those things. So that training costed 2 million shillings, which we paid. And remembering that I was a civil servant, I was working with the government, although with a parastatal. Most of the money she was raising herself. She comes from Muhoroni area. Their home is in Muhoroni, where they are growing sugar cane, and then she managed to get to grow sugar cane there through the brothers or through the rented land, and this is partly where we got money to build, to take the children to school. Later on, we started to build this home. So, you can see it is not a recent home. We built it in 2007. And when I told her that now we are paying school fees, where are we to get more money again? She told me that God will provide, and through both efforts of myself and herself, we built this home. You can see how it looks, and that was also through her contribution. She was a very religious person. I said she started at the ACK church with the ACK faith, and then later joined some church which was called Worldwide Evangelical Mission. She started this in 1995. She was a pastor and grew up. And last year, when the founder of that church died, she became the presiding bishop of that church. And yesterday here we had people, even still one is here, somebody from Tanzania, from Dar es Salaam. We have people who came from Uganda, particularly the northern Uganda. We had people who came from DRC, at least one person. And then we had also one person from southern Sudan. So truly it was worldwide evangelical mission. That was wonderful. After that, or during the very time, she was a very successful business person. She was able to know where to do business. The business involved construction, like this house. After the architect, she constructed it. She was the supervisor of the building. It involved the transport business. It involved supplies. She used to supply schools. And then at Kakamega, she had a cyber business. Because Kakamega is a university town, and that kind of business is really needed there. So that place became very popular. It's still up to now very popular with that kind of business. We used to do quite a bit of farming here. And if you go to the granary there, I think we have about 60 bags, which we harvested in August. And basically this one when we use for our consumption. We also use that for giving to relatives, and then giving it to the charity, to school, to the orphanages. In fact, to the extent that when we harvested that one in August, you can see the maize stage there. This is second season. We have 2 seasons here. First season of farming starts in March and ends in August, and the other one starts in mid-August and will be ending. This maize will be ready in December. So continuously we have had food, quite a bit of food here. One interesting thing, recently, around August, she came up with that she wanted to grow groundnuts. And groundnut seed is very expensive. One acre of groundnut seed would take about 25 kgs, which we can translate to about 12 gorogoros, and the 12 gorogoros goes for 750. So we grew 2 acres. 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 2 and she bought seed of this of 10,000 seed of groundnuts, 10,000 shillings above the normal farming that we do. So we hope to get a very good harvest with the rains here of that groundnut seed, because normally one gorogoro of not seed, but now grain seed, what people eat, goes here for 600 shillings. So we'll remember her for that. Sophie had a very high social capital, very, very high. I've not met a person who everybody she meets becomes a friend. Whether it is in business, whether it is in just elsewhere, but more so in the church. I wish you were here yesterday. You saw many, many people who were laying the flowers at the graveside during burial. Very, very high social capital. The other thing she used to do, she loved her family highly. The love for her family, the love for her relatives, the love for her mother, the love for her. I know of 4 of their children that passed through her hands while we were in Kakamega, and I'm happy they are doing very well now. That is her contribution to the family. But she had great love for the father, for the mother, and for all the children, all her siblings. At home here, she was very friendly to people. Very, very friendly. And many people, while they were sick, would come to Kakamega for treatment. This was simply because of her social network. She had many friends, nurses, friendly nurses at the Kakamega General Hospital. So many people would like to come to Kakamega so that they get medical help through her. We have been living very peacefully. And I can say, and these people can testify, that we have never quarreled for the about 41 years that we have lived. We have never quarreled, and these people can testify about that. Yes, these people can testify about that. We have never quarreled of anything. She had a great respect for me, and I also had a great respect for her. In fact, interestingly, last week, the other week, or within November, in October here, she told me we have a son who is at a Catholic university or around. We have our last born who is in the university 4th year in Nairobi. She told me she also used to call me Baba Chiche, that now we want to start living well. Huyu mtoto akimaliza tu, sasa tutaanza kuishi vizuri, because now no money will be going elsewhere. she used to be much attached to the church. She used to be much attached to the church, and you have heard that she was in a different faith and I was in a different faith. But anytime I had some activity in the church, like some collection, she would actually raise very good money from her friends for my harambe in my church, which was different from hers. So it was a very harmonious, very gracious family. Yes. Sophie also had some charity network, and this was mainly to the orphanages, where I know she used to provide school fees to some kids. She used to provide food. She used to provide clothes and those kinds of things. And there was a bishop here, one who did the burial, said that just about 2 weeks she delivered 1 bag of maize to that orphanage, I think from the harvest that we got in August. So when the maize was ready, I think she delivered 1 bag of maize to that place. So I would like to thank her very much for the good life that we had, for raising the very good kids up, and for doing very good work in the church. In fact, interestingly, last week we have a girls' school here called Sinaga Girls. It's a big school with nearly 1,200 girls. Somebody was telling me that she had received a letter to be a board member of that girls' school. So I think we can say, as Paul said, she has finished the race. She made and she finished the race, and we hope that somebody said here yesterday that if Sophie cannot go to to heaven, then nobody else will go, and that is very remarkable. Thank you.